Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherry, and I'm bringing you along with me on this kind of tour of this facility. The Bible says, write it down and make it plain. Well, I've written this vision down and I've made it plain. This is a vision I've had for 10 to 15 years. I'm not even sure how long it's been, but it's been a very long time. So I am in a small country town, and it's a unique town because it's actually registered as a city. It's in the south, and two major highways intersects this town. There's really no attractions for this town, but there are a lot of hotels. People stop on their way up north or going down south. It's really kind of smack dab between New York and Florida. I grew up coming to this town, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. And every time I come here, I always think, what can I do? What can help the economy? What kind of business would thrive here? There are a lot of young people that love sports here. There is a first round draft former NBA player, 10-year career, that grew up here. My children lived here for a couple of years and played sports, and we had to travel so far for tournaments and for practices. At one time, we were traveling 60 to 80 miles each way just for AAU practice for my son. So this facility, as you can see, you may recognize it as being a Lowe's, or at least a former Lowe's, and it has been closed for probably 12 to 15 years now, and it's empty. Nothing has ever taken its place. It's never been anything but the Lowe's, and it's just been a building empty standing here. Well, my vision, my goal is to turn this into a sports complex. I hope you can see what I'm seeing, because I can't really see. My camera is so bright here. It's a beautiful day. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. It's about 81 degrees. It's sunny, a slight breeze, but it's a perfect day. And I decided to come out and walk this property. Now, when it was open as Lowe's, I've come here many times. And I remember when it opened, people in the community were concerned because, they had the mom and pop hardware stores and things of that nature, and appliance stores, and they were scared they were going to put them out of business. But Lowe's didn't put them out of business. They ended up putting Lowe's out of business. But I just want you to see this property. And I want to make this into a sports complex for basketball, volleyball, and it could be football/soccer, agility. This could be a perfect place for AAU tournaments. As you can see, the parking lot is expansive, so if a lot of teams come in, there's plenty of parking, there's fast food, there are hotels. There's hotels minutes away, just a couple of miles, as well as there's plenty of hotels up to 30 miles of this facility. I envision down at the end, you see where right down there, where they have kind of like that outdoor area where they will put the garden plants and things. That will be a perfect place for a turf field where football players, soccer players can be trained and skilled up with agility, footwork, stamina, different things regarding their positions indoors. And the ceilings are high in here. It's like a warehouse. Just envision the Lowe's that you go to in your community. So that's what this is. So I envision that we could have several courts in here that can be basketball courts and easily converted into volleyball courts. And I've actually gone to a facility a sports facility, I think it's in North Carolina, where they even have an ice arena in the back for hockey, ice hockey. So that might be a possibility here. I'm not sure, but I wanted to bring you along with me. The hard work for this is already done. You know, the building is up. It has it's a sturdy structure, you know, with the stone or the stone masonry on the exterior. So that's very low maintenance. The awnings all look like they are in pretty good shape. I can imagine this area right here being a great place for maybe vendors to set up if they have some barbecue they want to sell to the families that come in for these tournaments. Here's the detention pond. So as you can see, the infrastructure is already done. You know, there's already plumbing, there's already bathrooms, because this was a working Lowe's for, you know, several years. The detention pond doesn't look overrun or anything. It's probably still in great condition. It's right off the highway. I don't really want to say which highway. It's two highways actually that intersects it, because I don't want to give this location up. This is a gym. You know, I remember we used to always go to Boo Williams in Hampton, Virginia. That was an amazing complex. And Boo Williams is not as big as this. So this could really do some, you know, have some great things. We have a Carolina Quartz in Charlotte. And I know one of their facilities, they have a soul food restaurant. And the restaurant actually has locations outside of the complex, but they opened up a restaurant in the complex, which was wonderful because, you know, after a long day of a tournament, you don't always want fast food. Sometimes you want a good, wholesome meal, and we were able to get that. I don't believe they are still open in that complex due to COVID and, you know, things being shut down and just not being able to manage and maintain it. But I think that something like that would do well in here too. In this area, there are some marvelous cooks with small businesses like catering and things of that nature. And I'm sure they would love the opportunity to have something more consistently. And even though this would be a sports complex where I envision tournaments occurring, and tournaments typically happen on the weekends, at least they would know on the weekends they would be, you know, on their grind. But when in reality, they would, you know, be on their grind all week just preparing for that next weekend. So look at this fence. This looks like it's in great shape. This leads out to the detention pond for safety so that you can easily get to it. However, no one's just going to fall in to the detention pond. Look at these beautiful pine trees. I'm not sure how many acres this is, but I'm taking you along with me as I walk along the back. Look at that. It's amazing. This would be amazing. Yep, I can definitely see this happening. So I am walking the property, and I just wanted to get a feel. I will put parking on this side as well. Just wanted to, you know, put my foot down on it and get a feel. Every time I come here, I drive past just to see what's going on with it, and it's nothing. Nothing is going on with it. So, but you can see the land is gorgeous that it's on. It's flat, there are no hills, plenty of parking. And if you've ever been to an AAU tournament, you know that is one of the major concerns or challenges would be the parking. And I'm sharing this with you on this channel. As some may know, I do have another channel where I talk more about what I'm doing on my personal life. This channel is more specific to business and marketing and workforce development. So if that's something that you're interested in and this is your first time visiting my channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. So when I do upload, which unfortunately on this channel is not too often, but when I do, that you will be notified. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of my subscribers that have been rocking with me and checking in periodically, like, hey, what's going on? Haven't heard from you. So this is where I just walked from. As you can see, And you know, this is typically where the loading docks are when they get their deliveries. We wouldn't have to use it for deliveries, but it could be a place, maybe make this an area where teams can come out after games. You know, everyone's hot and want to just get out and have some privacy. Maybe we can put something over on the top over here. Here's another detention pond. There is a service road of sorts that runs across here. And on the other side of those trees is a Walmart, which is also convenient. And I know that having a facility like this in this area would help with the commerce of the other businesses, the restaurants, the hotels, Walmart. There's a Food Lion also. If you follow this service road down a little bit longer, there's a Walmart. A Food Lion. And there's also a Hibbett Sports. So if you forget something that you need, maybe a pair of sneakers, socks, or whatever, Hibbett Sports is right there too. So it's really a great location. They have a lot of things that would support a sports complex, and they don't even know it. So I think it's all strategic, because Hibbett Sports actually just came here, I want to say within the past 2 years. So it's new. This is a really big detention pond here. And detention ponds, whenever you have a development, the purpose of them is for the runoffs. That's one of the first things that developers do, is make the detention pond so that it can help support the things that, you know, the materials and whatnot that they would use as they're building. And you might have those runoffs. But as you can see, the cement is really in great condition as well. The building is great. It probably could use some power washing. Everything is closed up really well, so it's sealed. Definitely would have to just gut it all out to create it what it needs to be. But you know, that's the easy part when you have the structure, and the structure is solid. I'm not seeing too many issues other than some little hairline cracks here and there, but that's to be expected as buildings and things settle. Yeah, there's some great things. I can see this being part of the soccer and football, and even for basketball, all the sports really, another training opportunity, maybe where they're doing something with tires or you know, something for strength and agility, because this is a slight slope, but it's not a slope right here where I'm walking. It's just a slope down here. That's for their use when they have the trucks bringing in merchandise. But they have the lighting already, and I wonder if that is solar or if it's actually turned on. But if you can see, that light is actually on right now. They have their electrical. This still looks relatively new. I know it's not, but and look at their system here. Kohler. You know, with it being Lowe's, they're going to use grade A products. So that's another good thing. This kind of opportunity does not come up often, because when have you heard of a Lowe's closing? So this is where I envision the turf being laid out, and make it kind of like a simulated football field without the goals, but a lot of great training could go on here for football, for soccer. And I wonder if even a track possibly can go around it, and so maybe, you know, some track training could also take place for, you know, track runners and things. But this is perfect. And I say soccer and football because those sports are typically played outdoors in all types of weather and conditions. So, you know, training in that would be, I think, a help for the athletes. So yeah, this is it. This is my goal. It's a big goal, it's a stretch goal, but I really don't think it's impossible. You know, when I used to go to AAU tournaments with my children, I always wondered how to get into that type of business to set up tournaments. Now, I definitely would like to set up the tournaments, but how much better is it if you also own the facility? Eventually, I will be looking for investors when I take further steps to put this into action. And those lights are on as well. That's interesting. But I will definitely be looking for investors. I think this will be an amazing project. It will change the game and the dynamics of how AAU tournaments are played. Boo Williams is a Black-owned facility. Boo Williams himself owns the facility. You do not hear of a lot of tournament organizers owning the facilities. So I think this is dynamic, especially women. So I'm excited. Look at all the lighting. Right now they have a lot of trailers or, hitches or whatever you want to call it, just in the parking lot. But other than that, it is all open. Great lighting, beautiful trees, it's safe. So if you wanted to come out, and just kind of relax in between games, beautiful. All right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. And until we speak again, remember, play and practice hard, but practice so hard that when you play, you will always play to win. This has been Real Talk with Coach Sherry.